Okay, I'm going to get started. So what I'm going to do is talk about the best ways to use Canva and Stencil. My name is Lillian De Jesus from Tiger Lily VA, and I'm going to talk about the best features and the best ways to use Canva because not everything that they offer is the best use of my time. And I found certain features really great and it's awesome for presentations and ebooks and PDF documents. But then I found with social media content, it was kind of slowing me down. And I found Stencil. And Stencil actually has been great with creating social media content, doing it super fast. So I'm going to go ahead and show some features and some tips that might help you in your visual content marketing strategy. So let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, so what I want to do is actually bring you to Canva. And I, of course, created a slide deck in Canva under presentations. So I'm going to go to it. And this is I guess you could say that a lot of people are wondering, why am I going to do a presentation in Canva? I use PowerPoint. Well, the great thing about Canva is that you can create the presentation in Canva and directly present it from Canva. You don't have to use PowerPoint. If you do need to use PowerPoint, because if you're in corporate and you need to share that PowerPoint file with someone else on your team, you can definitely convert it to PowerPoint. It's a little tedious, but it's doable. And I do have a video of that I can share a link with if you'd like, to a YouTube video. But it's really easy just to present right through Canva or download it as a PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I've created the slide deck in Canva, and I'm already finished with it. So I'm going to go ahead and present it. And you click on the Enter Presentation with this little video screen icon. When you click on that, it'll take you directly into presentation mode. And sorry, I'm going to flip through to the title page there. But as you can see, I have a full on presentation, and I didn't have to convert it into PowerPoint, and I have it readily available right on my computer. So you can go ahead and do it that way. Another option is to keep it as a PDF or to do the PowerPoint if something happens with the internet and you want to back up, definitely do that. Okay, so now that's the best use of my time in Canva is creating presentations, and I'm going to show you why. Because in Canva there are lots of wonderful layouts, and I'm going to go to Canva right now and show you. With this specific presentation that you see here, I used one of the Canva layouts, and you can go ahead and scroll down, and there are tons of layouts that you can choose from, and they're really beautiful. And so the best way to stick with one, and you might not know which one to choose from because there are so many, but the best way for me is to look at the font, look at the coloring. Coloring and the fonts are not a big deal because you can change them. But if it's already done, if it's already there, then there's less for you to change and edit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this presentation originally looked like. And I don't remember going this far down actually, so let me go back up. So you go into presentation once you get into Canva. And when you take a look at layouts, that's where you'll find all these. I actually used this presentation here, the Vitamin C Plus presentation. And if you notice, as you scroll through the layouts, you'll see the little paper pulling down showing numbers. This one showed 10. So if you click on that number, it's going to show you the different pages of that slide deck. So these were all of my potential options for this presentation. I didn't use them all. I think I've only used 6 of these, but this is super handy. Makes it extremely fast. And all you have to do is change the coloring, add a picture, change up the picture. I highly suggest changing it because you go ahead and use this and it looks kind of the same. A lot of the presentations would look the same as other people, other businesses. So you want to change it up, make it to your own brand. So we went ahead and did the layout, but I changed it a little bit, and I kept the kind of the orange thing going on because of my branding, plus the actual fruit orange, because I'm comparing apples to oranges, comparing Canva to Stencil. So I kept that in there. And so as you can see, I changed just the quote image here, but I left the background and went ahead and used this particular slide and just changed up the photo and my text, of course. And it was super simple for me to do this because it was my brand color. It was this orange color, and the font is very nice. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go ahead and use this one. So you'll find a layout that's kind of similar to your branding, and that's what will make the process a lot easier. So this is something to think about. So if you're going to do a presentation, definitely go for Canva. If you want to switch it up to a PowerPoint, you can, but you have to download it as a JPEG. And you'll change the file type up here. So if you're going for PowerPoint, change it to a JPEG because you'll need to save it as an image to save it into your PowerPoint. And I know that could be a tedious process, but in the long run, it works great. Otherwise, you can go ahead and share as a PDF, or I'm sorry, download it as a PDF print. And when you share, I want to say share, but I mean download. When you download a presentation as a PDF print, it's a 300 DPI quality, and that is the print quality, and that's what you'll need, especially if you plan on printing it later on to maybe as a handout for maybe a presentation locally. This would be a great idea. So go ahead and download that for the future. And let's go back to the presentation mode. So I went through presentations, and that is my #1 usage of Canva to create presentations. I love them. Makes it super easy. Now, as far as ebooks and freebie documents are concerned, Canva is another great option. Now, when you consider creating an ebook, you'll definitely need to have that all typed out in a Word doc or a Google Doc, and then copy and paste it into Canva. Don't ever start a book in Canva. It's not a good idea. So what you'll need to do is have everything prepared in a Word doc or a Google Doc, and then copy and paste into an ebook format or a magazine. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you into Canva what I typically would do for an ebook, because everyone does it different. But for Canva, there are some other options. I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to go into the different designs they prepared for you. And if you go down, you'll notice that you have a magazine cover option for documents. If you click on that, it's actually going to give you some options to create not only a magazine cover, but some extra documents. So this is typically what I use for ebooks. You can also create ebooks in the horizontal position by using the presentation wide. But I know a lot of people like to use the standard vertical size. And magazine cover gives you a whole lot of different layout options. So we're going to click on magazine cover, and you'll see, let's see, on the Canva layouts, you'll see that there are, of course, plenty to choose from. But there are some that you'll notice the little flap doesn't turn over. And I'll scroll up here because I'll see this one here. This one has a 3 behind it. So that means it has 3 separate pages that you can work with. So you can actually make this magazine cover as the ebook cover. And then the rest, you can go ahead and make your changes to. Now, there are a lot of layouts that you can choose from. And also, as a reminder, if you see the $, that means you have to pay for those. And they're $1. So it's not bad to have a really cool graphic design ebook looking, but you can go ahead and make the changes. And you might have some pictures that you can download, or actually go ahead and use the same ones that you have in Canva, and you have an ebook done. That's how easy it is. So I'm going to give you an example. I was just going to look for another one that had some extra pages here. See, this one has a lot of text area. You can use that quite easily to put in your ebook information. So let me give you the example that I have of an ebook. So what we're looking at right now is an ebook that was created in Canva, and we are looking at a health coach ebook. This was made entirely in Canva, and all their little elements, and the photo as well. Some photos have been downloaded or uploaded into Canva, and they're from other sources, of course, include attribution to those photos, and all of the headings were there. Just needed to change those texts up, and also the colors for the brand colors for this specific health coach. And as you can see, the ebook is looking pretty nice. It looks great, especially since it's a freebie. It's a free document that you'll have to obtain email subscribers. So as you can see, those layouts that were in Canva, you can make it and turn it into something that is specific to your brand by changing the colors to accommodate your brand colors, and the text as well, the fonts, if you want to change the fonts. So all of that is available in Canva and makes it super easy to create a PDF document. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this, and you can see our next feature would be about stencil. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go into stencil now. And hold on one second. If you go to Stencil, it's getstencil.com, and you'll want to log in. It is free to use just like Canva, but of course there are some upgrades that you'd have to pay for different plans. So in Stencil, I found that, let me back it up a little. When I went to do social media content with Canva, it was okay, but I found that it was slowing me down. And since I was trying to do a whole bunch of social media visuals, it was not working well for me. I mean, it's great for presentations, ebooks, documents, but when it came down to it for social media, it was taking me way too long. And so I found Stencil to be the better alternative. So for social media content. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some features in Stencil that has really helped me out to make just social media a little bit easier for me and fast. So in Stencil, you'll get a whole bunch of photos. Now they have about 1.8 million royalty-free photos, and those photos are mostly from Pixabay and Pexel. So if you go into featured photos, you'll have a whole bunch on the side here, but if you have a free plan, it's only going to go up to 24 photos up on top. And you'll notice once you pass 24, you'll get a red lock, which means you have to upgrade. And it's about $9 a month to get to that upgrade so you can access all of the photos. Now, the thing is, people they look at this and they're like, oh, I'm so limited to photos. But really, there's kind of a workaround with that, because right here is showing you the featured photos. If I want to actually get down into detail, I'm looking for animals, for example. Now it's giving me a whole bunch of other 24 photos up on top. Of course, as you scroll down, you'll notice where it stops. It stops right here and at the butterfly. So I know all of the photos above that are all free to me. I can use those. And so you can actually go into each category and see which of the photos will work best for you. Now, if none of those photos work for you, you can always do the search bar and search specific items. So if I'm looking for blue clock, I can go ahead and search that. It's going to come up with a whole bunch of different clocks. And if it doesn't necessarily mean a blue clock, it could just be blue background. Depends on how they tagged it in Pixabay and Pexel. So you'll get a variety of images, but you gotta kind of play around with the words in your search so you can find different photos. So it's not all that bad. Some people feel like you're limited, but you really kind of gotta be creative and get detailed with your specific image that you're looking for. Okay, so that's how you would search for different photos in Stencil, and it does give you a whole bunch of different photos, but you just got to search for them. Then I wanted to show you a bit of a difference in compared to Canva and Stencil as far as getting a background shape behind your text. So typically, for example, with Canva, if I wanted to get a circle or a square behind my text, I'd have to go to Elements and pull up a shape and put it behind my text, which I would have to do in Stencil as well for a circle. But if I just wanted a plain rectangle or square, I wouldn't have to do that. So for example, I'm going to delete my circle, because if I don't want a circle and if I just want a plain square or a rectangle, all I have to do is add my background color, okay? And so if I wanted to put in a square or rectangle, I could just click on the color for background color and it automatically gives it to me. Of course, I'd want to shape it out to make sure it can be seen. But then, excuse me, then I can make it transparent as well by using the toggle when I click on the color swatch. So there are different options that you can do as far as adding the icons for behind the text, or I can simply use the regular background color to get a square or rectangle in. So there's a little difference there with Canva. For me, this was a little bit of a lifesaver because a lot of times I just want to use square or rectangle. But if you want to do a circle or another shape, you'd definitely have to go into icons and do that. Okay, so then that's pretty neat. Okay, but this is what really gets me excited because um, when I was in Canva doing a lot of the social media content, I had to use an extension for a color dropper or eyedropper to get specific colors into my image. But with Stencil, I don't have to get an extension. It's already put into Stencil for me. So for example, with this text, if I want to change the color to match the door, this blue door, I can click on the white color, click on color picker, and I can just scroll right on top of the image and it'll give me all the hex codes, and I don't have to remember the hex code either. I can just click on it and it's automatically going to change it for me. So how cool is that? And then if I really like this blue, I can go ahead and save it in this little branding area by clicking on the plus, and it's saved there for future use. So that's pretty cool. Although I would not use this blue here, but maybe that blue. Um, so I'm thinking this is a pretty neat tool, right? I love it. It really has come in handy really fast. Now, I have my author name here on the outside. Again, you can switch the fonts just like Canva would. You do have to upgrade just like Canva to go into your own fonts or import. That's a little different from Canva. You can actually import Google fonts in Stencil. Canva can't do that. But there are a lot of font options to choose from. So what I wanted to do is show you, if you wanted to grab a quote, let me clear this out. I'm going to delete that canvas and I want to go into quotes. So this was another time saver in Stencil for me, is accessing quotes, because I felt like I was always in braining quote and I'm always looking for certain quotes on motivation and inspiration, and it kind of gets tiring. So, and I had to do that in Canva. Now with Stencil, I didn't have to keep searching so much. So I found that they have this awesome quote library and they have their featured quotes. You can scroll through and see a whole bunch. Or you can go ahead and it's also categorized. If I want business quotes, friendship quotes, happiness quotes, there's a whole bunch of different categories. Then if I'm not happy with those, I can still search for some, you know? So let's see, if I want to look up Les Brown, okay? There's some quotes here, not that many, but there's some. And it depends on the author, of course, what you're looking for. So I can use that and it pops into the canvas right away so I can start creating my image. So that quote library has been a super time saver. Now, another awesome feature in Stencil regarding quotes is the extension. The Chrome extension, there's a Chrome extension, there's a Firefox add-on, and there's a Safari extension. Just wanted to, actually, let me get out of this. I'm going to go into Brainy Quote because there's a ton of quotes there. I can access it there. But really, you can access anything on the web. Highlight it. Click on the Stencil extension and it pops into your Stencil canvas. So I'm going to show you really quick on Brainy Quotes. If I'm looking for a motivational quote, this is pretty neat. You'll highlight what you want in the image and click on the Stencil extension, and now it's setting things up in this pop-up window for Stencil, and it's put in the quote. that I was looking at in Brainy Quote. Now, it doesn't have to be at Brainy Quote. It could be anywhere on the web. It could be an entrepreneur.com article or Forbes article or Inc. And somebody has said something regarding your industry and you really liked it. Highlight it, click on the extension, boom, you've got it. So that's pretty neat. And once it's in, you can go ahead and do what you normally do and put in your photo. And then you can change your text like you normally would. And when you do that, I just highly suggest taking out the author and putting it on a separate text line to make it smaller. That's what I do, but you can do it any way you like. And then change up the actual filter or change the text color, make it bigger. So I'm going to make it a little bigger because I'm going to show you something really neat. I'm going to change this actual size into a Pinterest size. Now, in Canva, you can do that. You can resize your posts or your images to different social media posts. But the thing is, you have to upgrade for that. And it gives you a whole bunch of different windows for each image. So that can be a little annoying and time consuming. So what I found with Stencil, all I have to do is click on this little two-way arrow thing, and I can change it from a Facebook photo to Pinterest in seconds. So now I have this vertical option, which is the best type of pin you can have for Pinterest. And you can change the text a little bit, whatever you need to do to make it fit and look right for your pin. And when you're ready, I'm not going to change it too much right now, but I just wanted to show you what you can do is when you save it, I go into preview and share. Well, then it gives you have to give it a little couple minutes to go ahead and, not really a couple minutes, a couple seconds. Preview and share, and it's going to give me all of these social media options. So I can share it on Facebook, but you shouldn't share Pinterest pin on Facebook. That's the wrong size. That's the wrong size for Twitter. But for Pinterest, that's the perfect size. And you can go ahead and set your URL, so your website. You could pick out your Pinterest board and put in your description for that pin. And you've got your Pinterest pin ready to go. So that's pretty neat. And then they do have an Instagram option. It is not an automatic option. You have to send it through your phone as a message. And then the buffer integration is awesome. Of course, you can schedule it through Buffer if you wanted to schedule your pin, or you can change it up and make it into a Facebook post, whatever you want to do, and schedule your image. So that is awesome. I love that. So that has saved me a lot of time as well. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. Let's go back to Canva real quick. And what I'm going to do, okay, I'm sorry, it's just a bit slow right now for me. I'm going to go ahead and get into that presentation just to make sure I didn't miss any features. If you have any questions, please put them into chat and I will check them out and I can address them. So basically, what we've gone through already would be on Canva to use Canva for presentations, ebooks, and freebie documents. For Stencil, I love using it for social media content and quote images. So really, both of these platforms are awesome. You can use them for visual content, but you have to see which features and tools for each work for you. That's basically what we're looking at. You know, everybody works Canva and differently, and they may use Canva for their social media posts, but I found Stencil to be a little bit better. They have different options and tools that work for me. So I just wanted to go through some notes here. And yes, you can convert the presentation to a PowerPoint. Make sure it's a JPEG though. And then the presentations, you can go ahead and change the text, change the photos, and make it to your brand. And then the other awesome part is, just like I'm showing you right now, is to present the actual presentation through Canva. And no need for PowerPoint. And you can create ebooks. Remember that ebook I showed you from the health coach? She was super excited about that. All of her hard work was put into this pretty little ebook that she can share with her audience. Just make sure you download it as a PDF for print because that is the best quality. Now for Stencil, you'll have to remember Stencil is made for social media. So you're going to have those options for resizing for different platforms. Super easy, just within a few clicks. You can get your image from a social media post to a header to ad. You can customize that size. Super fun and easy, fast. So many great things about that option, that resizing option. Also, you have those photos. There's a whole mess of photos there that you can access. And you don't have to go to Pixabay or Pexels and download those and upload those, and you have them all at your fingertips. And again, I gave you that little trick. So if you find that those first 24 photos are not the best and you're not looking for that and you want to kind of give a little bit more detail in your search to get the photos that you want, you can always change the first 24 set of photos. So feel free to keep searching for what you want. Of course, they do have the option to upload your own photo. Then remember, rather than using a square or rectangle icon or element that you would see in Canva, a square, you can go ahead and use the background color, and it automatically gives you a square background behind the text. And then the other option for doing the preview and share in Stencil is to share with social media directly. I know Canva has that option, but Stencil has a bit more robust area in sharing, which would be with Pinterest directly and the buffer integration. That's awesome. Now, the other option or other feature that I love about Stencil would be on the quote images. If you're doing a whole bunch of quote images, it is going to be so much easier using Stencil, using their quote library. And if you don't find a quote in their library, you can simply use one of their extensions for Chrome, Firefox, or Safari and highlight, click on the extension, and you're good to go for your next image. So that's pretty exciting. I love that. And don't forget that they have that color picker. I love that feature. So if you're looking to match up your branding color or an actual color in the image, then definitely take advantage of that color picker. You can save it and you're good to go. Ooh, I have one more thing to show you. That it would be in Stencil. So let me go into Stencil. I'm going to show you something really, really awesome. Okay, so say that you have all these photos that you want to do for your fall marketing campaign. So you're going to get a whole bunch of pretty fall pictures, right? So here on each photo, you'll see a little hamburger icon. Click on that and you'll see an option for collections. Under collections, you can create your own little folder. It's not really a folder, but it's an area where you can collect all of your photos or saved images. into one project name. So I've already gotten, I've got a fall collection, so I'm not going to redo it, but you see I've already added this picture into my collection under fall. But you can create one for every campaign. It doesn't necessarily need to be about seasons. I just chose different examples here, but you can go ahead and choose one and go ahead and click on the collections. You click on the little checkbox, it's in, and it'll tell you how many images are in each collection. So I have 3 here in summer, and I've got 1 in tech, and I've got 5 in fall, 0 in winter. So that's pretty neat. I love that. So if you're looking for your collections, you can click on your collection folder. I like to say folder, but it's not really a folder. But I click on my collection, my fall collection, and these are my fall collected photos. So you can click on any of these and you're ready to go. But this helps because there's so many images and photos. Yes, I know. I know, I messed up. So there are so many photos and images out there. It's kind of hard to keep track. And in Canva, you really can't do that. There's no way of organizing. You can upload, you can organize them in folders, but you have to upgrade for that. In the collections, that's a free feature. So anybody can use this. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. So that's an awesome feature right there. It saves time. You can use that on your saved options or saved images as well. You could go ahead and click on that and you would have a whole other set of collections in the saved images. So I'm pretty happy about that. That's pretty nice. And you can also do that for icons as well. If you wanted to do a collection for icons, I didn't create any, but you can. You know, if you're looking for specific fall or summer icons, put them all in there in that one collection. And so when you're ready to start doing some social media content specific to a campaign, you can open up that collection and start from there. So that is pretty neat. I think that was an awesome feature that they added on. So let me go ahead. I think that is it. Let me make sure. Let's see. I'll make sure there are no questions here. Let's see too. There are no questions in the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on presentation mode. So I already went through all of the features in Canva, the features that I like, not all of the features, but all the features that I love and adore and I use. And then in Stencil, I've gone through the social media sizes, collections, and the integration to social media, and then the quote images. That's a complete win on Stencil. So I hope that has been helpful to you. I wanted to make sure that people realize that these tools have so many different features that sometimes they're hard to find, or you just miss them and you don't realize how awesome and how fast you can work when you have these tools accessed. So I hope this is helpful to you. Let me know. Again, if you're interested in learning about putting a presentation into a PowerPoint from Canva, I do have a YouTube video on that. Let me know if you want that link, or you can find it on YouTube.